Hey, this is Notser, and this is the Tier 9 Japanese destroyer Kagero. She has 6 main guns on 3 turrets, 8 torpedoes, 19 AA guns, and she has a top speed of 35 knots. So we spawned in on hotspot northeast side, captured E, and we move towards the center. If no enemy decides to go to the center, it's a free base. If an enemy goes into the center, we're going to use our torpedoes. These torpedoes have 20-kilometer range, and they go 67 knots. They're badass. Tier 9 and 10 Japanese destroyers are insane with their torpedoes. You see an enemy cruiser that enters the vicinity. We send torpedoes on a wide spread, the assumption that they'll continue on, and he already turned. So it's a complete waste there, but maybe he turned because he saw him. Who knows? We also see that an enemy cruiser is headed towards the center. So we want to avoid getting in range of either of these ships. That's why we're sailing to be, triangle the farthest away from the enemy ships that we can be. It looks like an enemy destroyer is also in the center, so we definitely don't want to go there and fight those guys. So we decide we are going to help take out that Pensacola. At least that was our plan. We noticed that a friendly ship is about to sail into us, so we avoid him. He's taken a lot of fire. Poor guy's on fire from stem to stern. But you know what? It could be worse. The guns on this are pretty awesome. They've got great grouping, and you get 3 of them. I chose not to use the most upgraded hull because you lose one of your turrets. I feel like AA guns are almost irrelevant on a destroyer, so I choose to keep the most turrets I can. And it looks like that friendly cruiser's going ham on this Pensacola, so I'm just going to help out and do a little bit of damage. And he's also on fire all over, and I said the back half on fire. And who's going to win? Is it the burn, or is it someone comes in and finishes him off with a big salvo? So it's 1-2 on kills. They are capping the center. They're capping the point E that we had at the start. It's not looking good. They took out another destroyer. It looks like this enemy battleship is AFK though, so we're just going to send torpedoes and kill him. Now, if he had loading issues or whatever, it's unfortunate. But at this point in the game, the enemy looks like they're going to win just on cap. They're about to have 4 caps. The tick is going to go so fast. So we really need to address this issue. The enemy carrier sent their dive bombers and torpedo bombers at the friendly carrier, and he's getting hounded by a battleship and a destroyer. But I'm not really in range to do anything for him. Anytime I see an enemy destroyer, I choose to fight them. And I just go into the torpedo view just to watch it hit the hull. You can get into this with the Z key. Just like you can watch your shots go in, you can watch torpedoes go in too. And we destroyed the AFK enemy battleship. But, you know what? It had to be done. It's spotting the target that people will go after. And we'll move on. Now we're back onto enemies that are actually fighting back. This enemy destroyer. We land a critical, and unfortunately for him, he's got to use damage repair. And I use my damage repair too. He takes out, propellers. It seems like it happens all the time to me. But a friendly does a lot of damage, and we're just gonna fire our fast refire, and we're gonna get the kill.
Enemy destroyer found.
But hey, we were doing damage to that guy. That's not a kill still. So they have 4 points. We can capture 2 points. It looks like. I'm headed towards the center. I want to capture the center. I also want to go after this enemy destroyer. Anytime we can see a destroyer, it's in our best interest to destroy them before they fall off a radar. it looks like a scout plane was what was spotting him, and now I can't see him. I don't really have an idea of where he is. And of course I'm sailing through C, so I'll capture C. We capture D, which is awesome, and a battleship is capturing B. A enemy battleship is capturing A, unfortunately. And there we go. A friendly scout plane just spotted that destroyer, so we can get back on his tail. He is a U.S. destroyer, a Benson. It's the Tier 8 U.S. destroyer. We have torpedo range advantage. We also have our guns advantage. And he pops his smoke, trying to evade us. But we have a general idea of where he's headed, so we're going to follow. Now, I could choose to go to the right and follow him in his trail, or I could use the islands and kind of flank him, and that's what I choose to do. I really don't want to give any information to the destroyer that they can use against you. Anytime you sail predictably, a destroyer should exploit that. And I'm going to send out my torpedoes. You know, hindsight completely wastes, but I'm still able to use my guns, and I reset the cap for him, and I try and move my way towards the cap to defeat him. He's still being spotted, thankfully, by the scout plane, and it looks like he is thinking that I will go a certain way. So I'm going to go a different way than probably his thought process. He probably thought I was going to head to the left of this island and then come up and meet him broadside. So he pulled back to maximize the time he was hidden by the island. And probably he's going to set up a broadside torpedo attack. But since I'm going right, I'll be able to surprise him. He wasn't aiming at all towards me, and I open up on him. I'm aiming a little high, as you can see. I want to hit the smokestacks, the command tower, but I don't want to go that high. So we're able to land a big shot. And he's using AP for some reason. I don't recommend AP at all. The chance of a AP penetration is slim, with the amount of maneuverability that the destroyer has.
Enemy destroyer blown up.
And the bonus damage that you get from AP versus AG is minimal for destroyers, whereas for battleships it's like 3 times the damage. For destroyers it's something like 100, 200 points of damage extra, and you sacrifice the ability to take out modules. Don't use AP against other destroyers. Use AG. It just gives you too much reward. So we're going to cap E. We're going to have 3 caps. We're down 200 points. We need to not lose any more ships, and we need to kill at least 1 more ship for it to really feel comfortable. It looks like an enemy battleship is engaging with 2 friendly battleships. So in my mind, they're going to at least kill him. And we're going to be 3-3 at the minimum, 4-3 at the plus. And I'll be able to fight this enemy battleship that has appeared in the south side of the map. He's probably headed towards the center of the map, probably looking to cap C, and he's probably looking to help fire on those enemy battleships. So I fire the predicted path the enemy's going to take, and I pop smoke to disappear. Now the enemy sees the smoke, but he doesn't see me, and I prefer that he can't fire on me in this vulnerable position that I am, out in the open, against the battleship. So I head around the island, and the plan is the torpedoes will land, well, hopefully the torpedoes land. 1 or 2. So 1 hits, 2 hits. He's probably dodging. That's why only 2 of those landed. So the assumption is we should come out on this other side of this island, and we should see him in a position other than broadside. And sure enough, it looks like he has beached himself on the island that is just south of sea. That's an advantage for us. It looks like the friendly battleship sees that, and he's firing on him too, since he's stuck. And I'm aiming a little bit back, assuming he's going to back up into it. And it looks like he doesn't really back up into it. I really wanted to land it on the smokestacks and the command tower again. I know I say that a lot. That's more where I wanted to land. And they will pick up speed, so you need to compensate as they're backing up. And he sends out a ranging shot. And I'm dodging... Oh, and he's short. That's awesome. Of course. A single round hits the back of my ship, and I have to use damage control. But we're still alive. You know, we've been in vulnerable spots, but we're still alive. This friendly battleship looks like he takes a torpedo, and he's barely alive. He'll probably just die to flooding, and yes, sure enough, he dies to flooding. But this enemy destroyer is now my primary target, and I plan to kill him. And I'm going to send my torpedoes wide. You know, I only need 1 hit. And he looks like he's compensating already. So I hold it, spread it out. If I can hit him with my guns, it'll be a moot point, the torpedoes. And I take out his steering, and it looks like he has to use damage control. He fires back at me, but he also misses mostly. I can get 1 good salvo, it's dead. And this looks like it's good. So we've taken out 4 ships, a couple destroyers, took out a battleship, AFK battleship. But we've taken out pretty high value targets in my opinion. You know, I constantly post destroyer videos because I love destroyers. They can fight anyone. And as the tick goes up, we are going to win this without any other engagement. And this game was one of those games where it wasn't high stress all the time, but we played the map correctly and we came out on top. I hope you guys enjoyed that game, and I'll catch you guys next time.